Okay, so in order for us to get the sum of squares of x, y, what we need to do is multiply x minus x bar times y minus y bar. So let's do that first. Equals this times this, hit enter, and then we want to fill those values. Oops, we want to fill those values down. What are we doing? Gotta make sure the cross is black, right? So we have x minus x bar times y minus y bar, and what we want to do is sum all those values up. Sum those all together to get the sum of squares for x and y. And then again, what you want to do is the same as what we did here. Divide this by n minus 1, which is 9. And then our standard deviation is going to simply be the square root of this value. Hit enter. So this is our standard deviation for x, y. Now, in order to calculate r squared, you need to use this value and divide it by these values times each other. So we're going to hit equal sign to start our formula, and this is going to be our sum of squares for x, y, right? This value, this is what we calculated here. And we're going to say this divided by the standard deviation of x times the standard deviation of y. And this will give us our r squared value, right? So in order to get r, we're supposed to, I believe, take the square root. So it'll be square root of this value, right? So that'll be sort of what our r value would be when we calculate this by hand. But I wouldn't ask you guys to calculate this by hand, you know, just for practice purposes. But for the most part, you can just get the value from. It's just easier to get it from SPSS. I just wanted to like show you kind of an idea of what these formulas mean, so you're just not looking at them confused. And yeah, this will be like a value for our R coefficient and then our R squared. This is the one that's important to tell you about your relationship. So it doesn't seem like a R value of 0.2 isn't very strong relationship, right? It's very close to 0, meaning that there's no relationship between age and blood sugar. I'm not really exactly sure if there is a relationship, but if you wanted to check the literature on that and see what it says about age and blood sugar, you can do that as well, to see whether your results are, validated or not. But again, this is how you would use Excel to calculate this R value. And later what we'll do is we'll look at how the SPSS output looks, because it's going to give you the same thing. It's going to give you R squared, it's going to give you R, etc., etc. Okay, so thank you, and stay tuned for next video where we'll be able to look at this in SPSS.